So we have gotten massive news from and for helluva boss. But before I get into that, let's take a pause and mourn over Erica's dead partner who died from cancer last year. And the news we got is a Stola's music video, Hazbin hotel release date, and many more. Now in this video I am going to recap all of it and tell everything so far. Hello future me here. So this video was scripted earlier, and just look my way music video came out, so lots of things was happening about this video. So the first segment is mostly of the old script and the second half is the new script. So at the Anime Passanada event, we got some helluva boss news like the Stola's music video, and we will have more of Verisika Mayday, which means apology tour is about Verisika. But we may see more of her in other episodes.
We've already gotten some bangers from Verisika in so far in the show, but can we mention right now we have more Verisika coming up in is it this season? Is it next? What are we looking at?
Yes. Very soon. There will be more Verisika in this season and more Verisika songs as well.
We also have some of the best conversations with Brandon Rogers and Erica Lindbeck, where Brandon Rogers says that Blitz is mostly like him, and Erica calling helluva boss a furry fight show.
A bonus to that, when is Blitz getting a song? When's the Blitz? That's my favorite.
He's premiering it today. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We're now live with a new song from helluva boss.
That's the concussion song.
So the question was about music, and as you all know, it obviously plays an incredibly important role in our show and in the seasons you've seen so far. It's a privilege to work on the music, especially when we record. Usually Sam is with us, and so it's a real collaboration. Like, these songs are found for the first time in the booth. The ones that I've recorded, I'm singing, and Sam is giving feedback, and Vivian and Richard are giving feedback. So they're really created like in a collaborative soup right there in the booth. So I get a lot of people coming up and talking about the song from Lululand, and I remember recording that song because it was during the pandemic, and I had just become a father for a second time. My second child had just been born, and a lot of actors had lost their jobs, and all of those emotions kind of went into that booth and went into that song. So, and that's true every time you record something. You bring in whatever you're going through, and the music has been an incredible conduit for that in this show, and that's thanks to Viv.
We'll just go down the row if that's okay.
We had new songs from not just Millie and Moxie, but specifically Moxine and Millard. And I would love for both of you doing that episode, especially how you were musically recording for that one.
On a microphone.
Yeah, if you could sing the whole thing now.
Oh, you're gonna look at me. That was a fun one. I was blown away by Vivian's Millard part of it. I was so amazed by it. Vivian's already an amazing singer, but this song was in a lower key, and I actually asked Vivian Madrano who's singing Millie's part? And she goes, that's Vivian. I'm like, oh my God, she's amazing, which I already knew, but.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was me. I always think that the demo sounds better. Sam, you know, you make it. Sam does it. Well, everyone who ever does a demo for me, for my character, it's always like, right here.
Yes.
It's like, everybody look at me. All of you losers wish you could be like me. Anyway, and so my key is actually higher than
Yeah, we should switch keys. I should actually be singing your key, and you should be singing my key.
But
we work it out.
We always work it out. We always work it out.
We always work it out.
Millie!
Yes, it was an absolute joy recording that episode, and Millard was so much fun because I got to dig into this dude character that I never played, and it was so fun singing like that, and it was awesome. So thank you, Sam Hatch, thank you, Viv Medrano, for giving me the opportunity to just be a guy and play somebody who, you know, I normally wouldn't get to play because my roots of film, television, and theater, I'm always typecast, and so. Right, the sky's the limit in this industry, and I love that.
And really fast, I know we only have you for a bit, but I would love to talk with you, especially your song, as you are playing opposite yourself in this show. So yeah, this one's for Faye, because I would love to hear about your glitz and glam song, and of course, let's work with Sam on that.
I voiced both glitz and glam, and it was amazing to be a part of this show. I mean, I've always admired this stuff. I voiced Katie Killjoy in Hazbin Hotel pilot. I wasn't sure if I would get another opportunity like this again, so I was just really happy. It sounds very K-poppy, the Clown Bitch song, and I love it. I'm a big fan of Katie Gay. And it's incredible. Sam Haft is extremely talented. And I admire every single person on this cast, so to be a part of it now is just, it's just amazing. So thank you so much.
I'd love to talk to you not just as a performer, but also somebody who writes with the show, how it's been to take the character to where they're at now, halfway through season 2.
I think a lot of people, it was tough when we did the first, like when episode 3 was coming out, you didn't really see any serious deep sides of Blitz until really like episode 6. And so we had already recorded the back half of season 1, and I knew Blitz was this like well-defined 3-dimensional character, but yet everyone's like, he's silly because episode 3 or 4 is only out, and we only think he's, I'm like, oh God, you don't know how deep this character is. But I think that a lot of people didn't expect for him to be so 3-dimensional because there's a stigma that like, if a character's funny, then they immediately don't have the capability to have their heart broken, to go through a relatable problem, to be dealing with traumas that, you know, other people go through. People think that comedy characters are just there to be laughed at. People can be two things at once. And I think that Blitz is funny, and he's, you know, he has his moments where that aren't his best, but he also, you know, he also has very real feelings that I think people can relate to. And I certainly relate to him a lot. I write for him. And he's someone who's very near and dear to me. And so when I see other people relating to him too, it's very gratifying because it makes me feel in a weird way that I'm finding some form of acceptance through other people because I relate to him a lot too. And what was your question?
Getting started with the show, and did you ever see the crazy amount of growth happening? What is that like? What's that experience like?
I will say that I thought it was a furry fighting game when I auditioned. And it ended up being this crazy thing. You really end up falling just ass backwards into like the coolest stuff sometimes. You just have no idea. But yeah, I'm very happy that I auditioned. And I'm very happy I got to hang on to Luna. I love Luna. She's great.
And now you're on a t-shirt. So.
And now I'm on your t-shirt.
Yeah. Bryce, what about
Moxie, Millie, and Stolas? And I'm just like, wow, it's like you got the 3 kids and then the villain.
Blitzy? How dare you?
Blitz and I have very similar struggles. I'm not murderous, but I get a lot of Blitz's character is defined by him. You know, he's an imp. He's the lowest of the low in hell, and he's actually trying to make a name for himself. Something more than most demons are trying to do. You know, so he's faced with this like kind of. I mean, it's funny because he's a little tiny guy, but he's the tallest of the little tiny. You know what I mean? Like not physically, but also inside. And I think that that's something I relate to. Is I've always felt like it's hard to be a comedian on the internet with my brand of humor, and have producers, give you a chance to be on a show that blows up the way, that a fraction of the way this one did. And so I relate to Blitz, and also I love daddies. And I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
That's a direct quote. You can tweet that.
I don't like daddies, I love them. Anyways, so I relate to a lot of things with Blitz. Most everything, except he kills people, he's red, has horns this tall, but beyond that,
and Stolas was supposed to be darker than he is in the show.
I just want to say, Stolas, you could stop me if I'm wrong about this, but what Stolas was originally supposed to be a lot darker.
He was actually, you can all thank Brandon, because there was a very early on meeting, because in the beginning, the pilot is obviously, most people probably noticed by now, the pilot's very different from what the series kind of ended up being. And it was after the pilot when I was like, yeah, we're gonna make this. This is gonna be a show. And things were changing, and we were mapping out the whole season and everything like that. I asked you. I was like, so I kind of like the idea that Stolas and Blitz might be like an actual thing. Like, do you like? Is that something you like? And you were like, yeah. And then now the show is what it is.
You did that for me, Blitzy?
Bryce really fucked over the plot by being too adorable with the way he make this dark.
I will say, yeah, that also, like, Bryce, you stepping into the role also very much changed the character, in my opinion, vastly for the better, because it's impossible to hate Stolas, at least in my opinion. I think he's such an amazing character. I'm very biased. I love writing for him. But yeah, I think when we decided that night at Lancer's restaurant in Burbank, that the tone of the show and everything like just completely changed. And I think obviously for the better. I adore this story. Obviously, we're only partway through it, but we're much farther ahead in writing, and so excited to see where it goes.
And the cheese Blitz ate here is not ketchup, it's hot sauce.
By the way, he's not eating ketchup with his cheese. I just want to. Some comments said they thought it was ketchup he puts on his cheese. No. That is hot sauce.
It's slander.
No, that's the ones, and I still eat at least once a day.
Yeah, Blitz does that because that was when I came to your house. We did a live stream together, and you just went to the fridge. You cut a piece of cheese out, and you started putting hot sauce on it. And then Adam was like, "Yeah, that's how he eats." And I was like,
Didn't Blitz literally use that as like a expletive?
I didn't write that in. She canonized everything. We eat the same stuff apparently.
Well, it was originally, the line was originally like cheese and crackers, and we were like, okay, maybe that's a little too plain.
Hot sauce.
And so we changed it.
Anyway.
Shitty exes.
Bryce also talks about the comparison between Bryce and Stolas is actually trying to understand his pain.
I just want to thank everyone on the table for their vulnerability and their answers. It's a great question, and the answers have been amazing. I've learned something about each of you, so thank you for that. I would say for Stolas, obviously I came into the character as a theater performer missing the stage, and something about Stolas and just his histrionics and his dramatics and his performative nature, I identified with as a child who needed an outlet, and my first grade parent-teacher conference, my teacher said to my parents, "I need you to find your son an outlet for his reckless creativity. Please find him a stage other than my classroom." And so I think ever since that time, I've been finding a way to express feelings that I don't understand, or energy I don't understand, through performance. And the more I got to know Solus, the more I felt like he has a pain in his heart that he doesn't quite understand, and that the dramatics that he sometimes portrays are maybe a way of getting beyond that pain or trying to understand it more. And then, of course, there's the connection to his daughter. And when we started the show, I had only recently become a father to my daughter, and that was a really new and raw experience of the world that I'm still in. But so I obviously connect to his fatherly conundrums, and then the singing. You know, I can't deny how much the being able to express through song is something that I've always felt as well. That when words don't really suffice, sometimes music is the answer to trying to get something across. So all of those things combined, and then every now and then a little bit of demon rage feels good to get out too. That's my answer. Thank you.
Best dad.
On that same vein, we've heard from everyone performing the characters, but I'd love to turn that same question over to you, Viv, and have you talk a little bit about the themes that we've experienced this season and how they've come from a personal place with you. You know, what have we explored this season, and what are you excited to get more into in the second half of season 2?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many themes. A lot of the story, I mean, at this point, you know, I am also, like, in terms of storytelling, I'm a hopeless romantic. I love telling romance stories. I also love angst, so there's plenty of both of that in this show. Because like, I don't think I set out to make it a romance story at the heart of it, but you know, that's what it turned into, and I'm so glad it did, because I think that it's a really complicated one. Obviously, the characters are very complex, and both Blitz and Stolas kind of come from kind of hard, you know, upbringings and situations that they both kind of are handling in different ways. And a big theme of the show is overcoming that hardship and abuse. The latest episode obviously is a very specific one about exploitation and about you know, kind of being a creator, a performer, and kind of having that pressure on you to be perfect or to you know, be right for the idol in your life and things like that. And I think overcoming those hardships is really important to me, and it's something that I've had to live through. And I don't know, I feel it's very important to put into my work and into my projects. It's also sometimes the safest place to put that trauma is into your work, because sometimes there's nowhere that can go other than therapy. So, you know,
expensive.
Yeah, so the show is expensive therapy as well.
I'll add something to that, and there's not a nicer term for this, but I think those who don't are too young to get this won't get the word. But I mean, this show is basically a cum dumpster for a lot of our traumas. We only write what we know. So when we see a traumatic experience happen, it's not like we think this is what it's like to go through that thing. No, we've gone through it. One of us has.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, whenever you see something like that on screen, you just know someone on the writing staff or someone went through this. It comes from a real place. But yeah, that's always what's very important to me about the show. And season 2, obviously, we're halfway through it, and so we have another half to go. But I think that everything's been set up for that second half, and it's going to be a very emotional second half. And very
I'm not ready.
The stage producer came and pulled me on stage to tell us we're running a little low on time, so we're going to move on to what's next. He brought me back there, I knocked him out. So we probably got about 10 minutes before he gets up and yells at me again.
We can do a lot in 10 minutes.
So, yeah, we can do a lot in 10 minutes. So moving on to what's coming next. But there was a small child who asked me to ask you a question. And I'm going to ask that question.
And then Oliver's name.
They wanted sign language while signing.
You know, sometimes characters aren't given like official names on production just because production is production. If it's not said, then sometimes we just don't think of it. I don't know. I don't want to come up with a bad name on the spot, but
Criminy is a good name.
Criminy is a cute name. What about Oliver?
And we are getting a Stolas and Blitz song next episode. And Stolas will deal with his emotions in some of the 5 episodes.
A Blitz and Stolas. Context of which you will find out eventually.
My heart.
It is horrifying. I'm just like going into a duet with that guy. And what he's capable of, I'm very honored to have been a part of that.
What else can we expect from your characters? Bryce, do you want to? What can you say that under NDA? And she's right here, so don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I think Stolas continues to try to find his truest self and is in pursuit of that in relationship to some big feelings that he has for a certain imp and the complexities that surround that. And, you know, I think that you're going to see Stolas working through things he's never had to work through before because of who he is and who he was born into being. And I'm really excited. I was really excited to record it and excited for it to be out there and see the you know, as people grow, sometimes it feels like they're peeling away layers of things they don't need. And I think that's going to continue to happen for Stolas. And
someone's death, probably a side character.
Moxie, you can expect him to be in more episodes. Until his death. Oh my god, and I just say
No.
That'll be out there in 5 minutes. That's not true. It's a joke. It was a joke.
Moxie trending now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's going to be more Moxie singing and loving and killing. I don't know what to say, Viv.
But given that there's a sniper or a scope on each one of us right now, not to reveal anything, before we end, anything we want to reveal that's coming up to the channel, anything that's being worked on right now that we can look forward to in the next few months, so what are we looking at on the channel?
Absolutely. So some people have asked when to expect the next episode. Unfortunately, the next episode will not come out until sometime next year.
Don't open the
But in December, we haven't confirmed a date yet, but in December you will be getting an amazing music video. It is a Stolas song. It is a gorgeous song. It was actually originally a fan song that we collaborated with to make canon, and it is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and we put our all into the visuals of it, and I'm so excited.
So, I was just going to say,
And now the Hazbin Hotel news. So now we know Hazbin Hotel will release on the 19th of January, and we have got some possible voice actor leaks, where Darren Criss, who will play St. Peter, who may be one of Jesus's apostles, Jeremy Jordan as Lucifer Morningstar, Daphne Rubin Vega as Carmel Carmine, Patina Miller as Sarah, who may be Ibrahim's wife, or someone else, Jessica Vosk as Lute, and we also know that Vivian Medrano is advertising Hazbin Hotel in theater, which is Cole. We also got 26 pictures for Hazbin Hotel, and I will break them all down. The first one is Lucifer and Charlie, and Lucifer on his throne, and fire is emitting from the back of Lucifer's chair. This will probably a duet or something else, and Jeremy Jordan is written below this image, which confirms that he will voice Lucifer. This also appears for Alastair's image, which has Amir Talai, Alastair's new voice actor. The second is Vaggie arguing with Pensius for causing something. Third is Alastair. This is fucking awesome. Fourth is Huskadustai. Your dream has true. And I must say I am also interested into this. So consider me one of yourself. Fifth is Charlie and Vaggie having a conversation. Nothing much to input. Sixth is from the Happy Day in Hell music video. Seventh is where we see Vaggie and Charlie hugging and, oh my fucking god, Vaggie has fucking wings, this is so beautiful. And this may be where we get a duet which will be wholesome. Eighth is Vaggie smiling in her room or in another room and there are apples in the background. Ninth is flipping someone in the lobby. 10th is arguing at his bar to someone, probably Alastair or Angel. 11th is Vaggie at her boat, probably singing for her solo song or Charlie. 12th is about Charlie showing a drawing about her redemption idea. And I must nice drawing. Better than Blitzo. 13th is Sir Pensius in his was ship preparing for an attack or something. 14th is where we see Valentino with a custom-made handgun and a mixture handgun and a revolver. 15th is where we see an amazing image of Vox in his television room. 16th is probably Charlie advertising her hotel or introducing it to someone. 17th is where we see Angel in his room and Valentino's around him. This is where we get a song from him, planning to leave to Valentino. 18th is where we see Pensius and Charlie Vaggie the Egg Boys and we see Pensius industrial era canon, which means we may get more of Pensius director. 19th is where we see Carmyle and two other overlords somewhere. I honestly don't know, probably with Lucifer. 20th is where we see Charlie and Vaggie talking, possibly on top of the hotel. 21th us where we see Wo Nifty has a knife, which must mean she is evil and dangerous. 22th shot we see Insane Nifty. 23rd shot we see Husk and Angel eating while Pensius is reading about Vox. 24th is where we see Cheery Bomb in the hotel. 25th is where we see Alastair and Charlie together. Probably their duet or something else like a discussion or his past in a musical. 26th is where we Alastair and Charlie meeting Rosie and her cannibal clan, which is amazing. I wonder she will sound like and how she will play in the story. And we got these articles from IGN and the Coming Soon net. And you can read these articles since nothing important is written into these and I do not want the video to be too long, so pause and read it. And that's all I got.